Welcome back, guys, to another Gamebug review. This time we're going to be talking about Soul Calibur 6, which I was playing on the PS4 Pro. Now, let's just jump right into it. It's the sixth entry of the Soul Calibur series. 7 if you count Soul Edge on the PS1. But yeah, it's technically called Soul Calibur 6. Let's just jump straight into the concept story mode part of it. It's split up into two parts. There's the Libra of Souls part, which is more of like a little, like, RPG-ish kind of story mode. And then you've got Soul Chronicle, which is just a standard arcade style story mode. So I'll break down. We'll start off the normal story mode, Soul Chronicle. So that one focuses on Killick, and it's basically like watching a graphic novel. So there'll be pictures on the screen and there's some audio dialogue. And then once that's finished, it follows a fight. And then it goes back to more pictures on the screen, flashing, different images and more talking. And again, a fight. It gets the job done, I guess. But it kind of sucks that it's just these sort of drawings and that's about it. Occasionally you might see a tiny little scene where someone's doing something. So that's the main part of Killick. And then you can actually select mini stories that are happening at around the same time for every other character, which will be just like a shorter experience. They are kind of cool. I especially like, being able to do Geralt from The Witcher, his little parts. But again, sometimes you're not even fighting actual characters and just these generic, bland looking, creator characters. So it's I don't know, it's nothing in comparison to, say, Mortal Kombat X. That story mode was incredible. And I think that set the bar, especially like Injustice 2. Like, those games set the bar for what a video game, not a video game, a fighting game story mode should be. And this, in comparison, just doesn't make it. Even Tekken 7's was better than this. So it's not that great, let's be honest. Now, Libra of Soul, you'll either love it or hate it. I can't stand it because it's just text. There's a lot of reading, a lot more reading, a couple of pictures, a lot more reading, and then you do like a random fight and you get some points and you can you can upgrade things like, change your weapons, and you create a character at the start of it. I failed to mention that. The creator character is always great in the Soul Calibur games, so that's one highlight. But so you create your character and then you just go through so much text, and then you just go onto some bland fight against some random NPC, and then there's little special conditions that, try to spice it up a bit, but it's just so much text and it's so boring. Like, I don't want to play a bloody text adventure with a couple of random battles. So for me personally, and I know that, most reviewers do this on a non-biased thing, but these are my reviews, this is my opinion, I do all of mine based on my own opinion, and I don't like it. I really don't like it. So the story modes, there's two of them, they're quite lengthy, but they just do nothing for me. I'd say Soul Chronicle is the better of the two, but that's only because it has voice acting. So yeah, that's not so great in that respect. The Creation Suite, though, love it. That's always great. Lots of different little cool options you can do and make cool characters. So that kind of helps because the game doesn't really have that many characters. I believe it's got like 12 characters to choose from, which is fairly limited. But being able to create your own really helps, to just sort of spruce up that roster. So you've also got your battle options. So you can do an arcade mode where you just fight through a chain of enemies, one after each other, not in consecutive order, but like you'll fight one, complete, go on to the next stage. So not just like bam, 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 bam. You got your versus mode, training mode, online play. There's a museum option. So the museum options, there's some cool stuff, like you can unlock with the points that you earn in Libra of Souls, you can unlock like different pictures and gallery photos and all that sort of stuff. But again, I didn't want to play it. I just found it so boring, so I didn't have any reason to want to go unlock those things because they weren't that important. If it was like additional characters to unlock, maybe I would give it more of a go and want to play it more. But it doesn't have that. So I'm just left being like, well, I don't need this stuff. It's just a couple of pictures and stuff and some music. I don't need it. So again, it just depends what you're after. So let's go into the graphics section. Now, visually, the characters and the animations look great. I'll give it that. Some of the environments look good, but it has this weird blur effect in the background, which I guess tries to focus on the characters themselves, but it kind of feels like it's a way to hide some of the, not so great texture work and stuff. Some levels look fantastic and really detailed, but some just look very, very bland. Again, so it's like, it's not the best thing I've seen visually in a fighting game. And as I said, another comparison to Injustice 2, Injustice 2 makes it look like, amateur. And I hate doing those comparisons, but when something sets the bar, you've got to sort of compare it to that because that's the pinnacle of what you've achieved at this point in time. So let's move on to gameplay. Now, gameplay is still fast and fun and furious. I like using Killick with his staff because he's just got a great range of moves. I feel like this sort of game is probably the easiest of the fighting games to just pick up and play. Anyone can just jump in and win a match without having to, really know what they're doing. Because it is pretty fast, and there is some skill obviously in the harder levels, and obviously if you're a pro player you would know a lot more of the techniques and stuff, but I still feel that this is great for someone who's just getting into fighting games or just wants something fun to just bash around with friends. So it's good in that respect, and they have added basically like super moves and which have been in games like Street Fighter and all that for years. But it just adds that little bit extra. There's also like this mechanic where you clash weapons and then all of a sudden it's sort of like a rock, paper, scissors, like which attack have you done that will land first before their attack. So that's cool to sort of break the flow of battle. That's always a nice mechanic to have in there. But the game feels the same. Like, you won't be like, oh my god, this is such a drastic departure from the other games. If you know how to play Soul Calibur and you've played them before, you'll know exactly what to expect. So nothing really new on that front. Sound-wise, the music's great. Voice acting is cheesy as hell. But I think everyone's sort of used to that by now from these games. Geralt is awesome. Like, they've got his voice, which is cool. I love that, but a lot of the other characters' voices just completely suck. But the music's fantastic, so I'll give it that. So, moving on to the awesomeness section, this is usually where I say, like, what is something that drives me to come back to the game, and what's that one thing that it has that stands out from everything? And honestly, it doesn't. I don't have anything drawing me back. I'm not invested in Soul Calibur as I am Tekken or Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Like, I love those fighting games, but nothing here is driving me back. Like, there's no good story mode for me. It's not made for me. So I have nothing to really go back to. There's nothing that I want to unlock. No, like, cool costumes or like other characters and stuff. Those are the things I want to unlock. I would prefer if I started off with 4 or 5 characters and unlocked the rest as I went along, because it would give me something to look forward to. But I don't know. I can't get into it. And I know that there's a lot of reviews saying that this game is fantastic, and it is if that's what you want. But unfortunately, I'm not one of them. So yeah, you're going to have to check out our website, www.gamebug. I think I said like 4 W's, www.gamebug.com.au, if you want to see my score breakdown for it. You know, it's not going to be those top end marks that you've probably seen from other sites, but I'm just being honest, and that's my review for Soul Calibur 6. So thanks for listening, guys, and hope you enjoyed. Bye.